So there was some news announced yesterday, and it, to be honest, has been a little bit confusing. My motto has always been any news that's released on April the 1st, I don't believe at all, no matter how plausible it is. I wait for confirmation for the next day or two later. But what it was, Arika had released a gameplay trailer, I guess, for a game that looks uncannily like a Streetfighter EX game. And it had some of the characters from the EX series. Now, I thought it was a lot of effort to go through for an April Fool, but then again, you just never know. But I did think the game looked pretty good, and I'm going to be honest, I find Street Fighter EX is actually a pretty good series. I mean, I know it's always described as the black sheep of the family, but I thought it was actually a fun game. It had great music, had some really well designed characters, and while it didn't look the best, it did play pretty well, especially the chaining super moves together and some pretty fancy effects. I thought it was a pretty fun game. Now, from what I can gather, from what the confusion it was, is it had in the comments, it had the words April Fool in it, but then I think it's been clarified by them online that the April Fool was just how they kept the announcement a secret for so long. So that was a bit confusing, but then they released, like, I think they got a couple of hours of gameplay footage, actually people playing the game, so it looks like it's going to be made, but from what I've heard a few places, they're saying that 3 characters are playable at the moment, and they have no publisher or funding to finish the game, so I'm not too sure what's going to be happening. They'll probably say crowdfunding, but I don't think it's going to be a Street Fighter EX game unless they work to deal with Capcom. What people have been saying, it's going to be a Fighting Layer game. Now I'm going to post some footage of Fighting Layer because I've actually played that, and it's a pretty fun game, which I actually think has about 2 or 3 characters from the EX series. So the question really is, if they haven't got the funds to make it, would they go for crowdfunding? No, I reckon if they went for crowdfunding, they would get money. People would want to play this game. Hell, I'd even donate to it. And I believe Maximilian Dude and Vesper Arcade and various others, they would donate to it as well. But the only concern is about crowdfunding is you don't get a huge amount of money. You have to remember, even the biggest crowdfunding games, they get about 3-4 million. And for a game like this, even its early footage, I think it actually looks pretty good. Obviously it's probably an early version, but I did really like the backgrounds. I thought it looked pretty decent. It's just, the problem I had with a lot of 3D fighting games where you can move around is the arenas don't feel like real places. They feel like just areas with backgrounds, and I know the recent Tekken ones, they look more, but with this it actually looked like a real place, and I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, just with the crowdfunding though, even if they got a few million, which I'm not 100% sure if they could get, I'm not going to say it's niche, but it's specifically for Street Fighter EX fans and Fighting Layer fans, but I'm not really sure they'll get enough money to make the game. But then again, even if they release like a really early version, like an early access on Steam, perhaps get some money that way as well as the crowdfunding, I'd be all up for that. As I said, Street Fighter EX, I didn't think it was a bad game at all. I thought it was pretty decent. Obviously not good as like Street Fighter 3, but still fun. So yeah, I'm hoping we get some more information soon anyway and see what happens.